Have you guys seen a collector this big since the nerf? 15-point collector, 12-point Morbius. Welcome back, my friends, to another Marvel Snap deck guide. Today, we are revisiting what I see as really a central pillar archetype here in the game, Self-Discard. We have unlocked the full suite of discard synergy cards, so this is our slightly spicy take on the Self-Discard archetype, running Apocalypse and Swarm as our engine cards, bringing in Dracula as a huge hitter as well. Our goal is to be able to thin the hand down so that Dracula actually eats Apocalypse, rather than playing Apocalypse outright, but if the gameplay situation arises where we have to play Apocalypse, that's totally fine. There's a couple deck building choices that you make when you're figuring out your self-discard list. One is that you want to be able to get repeat activations on key cards, especially like Colleen Wing, maybe Hell Cow, some of these other discard activations that you would like to repeat. So you're going to either bring Beast or Wong. Wong is going to be more expensive. He forces you to play entirely for these later turns and big swings, and early in the game you don't build a lot of tempo. You're playing cagey to try and set up the right hand situation to pop off with Wong. With Beast, you're able to play for some more early tempo. He returns the cards to hand. He then discounts them to make them much easier to replay. And we're running Beast here because as the developers continue to tweak things, the energy cost of some of these cards has kept on going up. Hellcow and Lady Sif, I'm looking at you. Then we want a third carry to stand up alongside Apocalypse and Morbius as cards that we can empower through the gameplay, and that's either going to be Collector or Bishop. They both scale very similarly, they both fill effectively the exact same situation in the deck, and they both get empowered by Beast, which is another reason that we are going in for Beast here. The Collector is just one energy less. He's not going to get as large as Bishop will, but being one energy less, again, considering how I'm bringing Beast over Wong, I'm trying to shift the energy curve cheaper to be able to play more for early tempo, and that allows me more freedom in actually getting the hand thinned down for Dracula to eat Apocalypse. I suppose the final thing that I should say is that I'm not in love with Gambit. I'm running Moon Knight, Lady Sif, and Swordmaster all over Gambit at the 3 energy price point because I just love how they come together. Swordmaster giving us more raw power on his body, Moon Knight allowing us to still attack the opponent, thinning out their hand, and then Lady Sif with a targeted discard on Apocalypse can really let that scale up and be our huge finisher piece. Let's dive into battle, see how the deck fares. We're at infinite rank. People have maxed out collections. They've seen this time and time again. Are they going to be able to stop us? That is the main question. We've got our deck list up above. You can always leave questions about card substitutions down below. Maybe you don't have the full catalog of self-discard cards. I'm always ready to talk updates to the deck with you guys. And if you have any other comments that you want to say about the gameplay or the status of your collection, I read all the comments, love responding to them. Monster Island here. We don't have any 1-drops besides Blade, and honestly, we don't even always want to play Blade if we do have him. Now, if you had, probably this is a situation where I would have played Blade with both Swarm and Apocalypse in hand. Otherwise, he's a good combo piece to work in a little bit later once you have established some combo footing. We're going to play Morbius to the mystery location. No way that could burn us, right? It's going to flip, and it's going to be the one that silences on reveal abilities, right? There's always something that can hurt you here. The different lanes and the different locations really keeps games of Marvel Snap. Ooh, we love that. We do love that. It really keeps games of Marvel Snap interesting. We are going to play Collector to Mer Island. I want to capitalize on these buffs. And then, honestly, I have Beast to be able to repeat the Colleen Wing, but we could also just play her to Mer Island to be able to keep on churning through. And also she might just discard Beast here as well. We can hold Beast to maybe be able to replay our Moon Knight. Is another card that I kind of prioritize getting the replay. We get the Swarm. Beautiful. Leaves us Beast as an option for later. Also, frankly, one of the fun things with Beast and Swarm is that we can play Swarm for free and just bounce them back to hand for a buff on the Collector, and then Beast is hitting the board. Like if we played this right now, that means that we would be playing effectively a 2-4 power Beast because we're getting the extra buffs on the Collector. I'm not going to do it, but it's pretty fun. Do I want Hell Cow on? I probably do here on the Mur Island. Absorb these buffs while I can, expecting Mr. Negative to drop a magic and ultimately stop our scaling here. But we have Morbius and Collector, who is going to continue to be able to scale and hopefully get out of range of the Mr. Negative. Now he could also play the Iron Man. The Iron Man could come down and then be able to swing that. Iron Man is incredible at Mur Island, doubling the effectiveness, the efficacy of all of those buffs that's being given out. So this is bog standard Mr. Negative, though I'm a little surprised he's bringing Mojo. I don't prefer Mojo in my Mr. Negative list, but he wanted something early tempo. We won't begrudge the man that. But we will. We don't need the extra energy at this point. So we're going to do exactly what I said was so much fun. And bounce all these back to be able to empower the Collector. And that's all. It's just a Collector buff. So then we'll have 3, 4, 5. 5 cards in hand, 1 more card added in. Alright. Honestly, we could have worked the Lady Sif in to get bounced as well, but that's really leaning into expecting a magic play on the opponent, and we don't want to predicate our game plan on a card flip by the opponent. We want to be able to keep our game plan from what we're able to control. Okay. Our hand has glitched. I will Mystique on the Sarah. I love combos like this. There's the magic. Okay. Now, well, we could have leaned into that play a little more by getting the Lady Sif bounce back to hand. We're not hurting. In no way are we hurting right now. So, yeah, I mean, we show Moon Knight. Hang on, if you hit a swarm, then I have 4, 5, 6. No, I'd still be able to get a card draw. Okay. I mean, our final turn is pretty much locked in at playing the Apocalypse, because at this point, if we get a Dracula, he could just hit a swarm, which would be a little unfortunate, but I want to leave board space open to react to the opponent, and we're probably not even going to fill up Monster Island with the Mojo threatening us here. The beautiful, well, hang on. If he plays Iron Man, the inverted Iron Man, to 17 to 30, 34, we still win. Then we just need to find one other location to lock up. It's gonna be interesting to see. Okay, we do hit the, yes, the swarm. Have you guys seen a Collector this big since the nerf? 15-point Collector, 12-point Morbius. The opponent takes command here. Oh, the Dracula. It's so tempting, but I don't think we need the high roll. The mind games do commence. I'm assuming that you have Iron Man to be able to play down here to Monster Island. That has to be the spot that you would gravitate towards. But you also want to fill this up. What else do you have? Do you have Ronin? Ronin, Devil Dino, what are the other candidates? Ooh, they could have a rogue too that's looking to swoop in and cut off the Morbius. I still think we win that lane though. Oh, the retreat! Maybe they didn't have it. It was coming down to a little bit of a mind game, but I like what we were able to build there. We were able to take the advantage from Limbo, giving us another turn to keep on scaling our key pieces. I would have liked to have a bigger Apocalypse to be a little more confident to snap myself, but the opponent understanding that we had all the flexibility with Swarm and Apoc there, bowing out. Okay, our last couple games been plagued by stability issues, has been crashing. I'm on blue stacks. New patch has kind of shaken things up for people. I'm sure they're going to have things fixed by the full release. Speaking of full release, we want to take as much energy as we can going into that. So if you're enjoying the Marvel Snap content and the deck guides, leave a like, subscribe to the channel to be able to see our future projects. I want to be able to really see what we can muster, give the game the attention that it deserves. Let's see what we're able to make happen coming into this next one. Is this a bot? I've not seen a bot in ages. Man. Okay, turn 1. Swordmaster, Collector, Lady Sif. We get Dream Dimension to throw off our energy curve a little bit. It does hurt, but it shouldn't be too detrimental. I don't think it's a bot playing a gray card. Bots don't, I don't think they have any of these left in their decks. It's such a fun game, guys. Let me know in the comments, bot or not. We'll see at the end of this. We may never know. We may never know. They show gold armor. I'm not sure I've ever seen the gold version, and that is something. Wow. Okay, we get all the squirrels. What's good? We have all of our discard activation cards. So this is where the discard is not going to be onto one of our carries with Swarm or Apocalypse, but we still want to make the play. And I am a sucker for Moon Knight more often than not. Get Moon Knight in there, force the opponent to discard. Attacking the opponent's hand is a very intangible benefit you don't really see. I mean, you do see what they discard, which I do love that we get to see what they discard. But you don't often get to feel the full impact of how it pinches their play. We lose the Lady Sif, this is fine. They lose a Deathlock, okay. I like it. And we reveal the Triskelion with the Collector on the board. He's up to a 2/5. Oh, man. None of these cards are good. None of them. Not a one. They can be fodder for my discards, though. Let's go ahead, play Swordmaster on Dream Dimension. And I'm going to push Blade on the Triskelion. Is there a world where I use Beast to repeat these effects? Not really. If I get Dracula and Apocalypse, I could play... Nope, Dream Dimension, keep that out. Yeah, we're really just locked in here. We're not going to use Beast. It's too late in the game without having other facets of our hand in line. But these Triskelions are great random targets here. There goes the Dream Dimension. We do get the Apocalypse. Unfortunately... Colleen Wing will not discard the Apocalypse. She will discard the Squirrel Girl, and if I play Squirrel Girl, I lock myself out of playing to most locations, and she will instead discard Mystique. So we got stuck with a loser here. No Morbius. We did have the Collector. No Swarm. We only drew Apocalypse very late in the game. Got the Warpath. You know, this is telling me that they might be, in fact, a bot. Are you gonna play a Destroyer? Please. I would love it if you played Destroyer. Now, we check. Discarded cards, 4. That means that Morbius is as strong as Apocalypse. So, we play like so. Mystique will copy the Morbius. We snap. It's a simple calculation. Sorry, Apocalypse, you have been usurped by the lesser vampire. Morbius has headed the most talked about movie of the year. Apocalypse, what have you done for me lately? Wow, they just dropped down stuff out of Triskelion. Looking for tempo. They don't get it. Morbius is an insane card. He is so good. The energy efficiency to give you a carry, a cheap carry, out of a deck that all revolves around getting benefits from discarding anyway. So much fun. Morbius, Moon Knight, Hellcow, and Dracula competing at the 4 energy price point. We're pulling out the Mantis, understanding that Nidavellir is obviously where we want to throw our cards, and cloning that. Okay. Ooh. Do I want to clone Morbius or do I want to clone other things? I feel like I probably want to clone Moon Knight. Getting those repeat hits on Moon Knight. They've got Cable and Mantis, so you're probably running Quinjet, you're probably playing Collector, Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur. With then a splash of Mystique for the extra effect. That's my call. We'll see if I'm right. Gonna go Moon Knight here. Casual little make you discard. Ooh, but what if they took our swarm? I swear, if they took our swarm and we're gonna make them discard the swarm, we could make them discard the ninja now, which would be hilarious. Nah, we cut the devil dino. Okay, so that's a big carry for their deck gone. Do we snap? Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. It would feel pretty good. I think that we need to go Dracula here. Dracula on the Nidavellir. Does this make sense? Maybe we actually play to Shadowland. Nidavellir wins through having lots of bodies, not necessarily... Okay, that's fair enough. And then they go Sentinel, trying to refill their hand frantically, but I don't understand why if you don't have Devil Dino. We hit the Swarm, baby. Let's go. So then we play Moon Knight. And do I play Beast as well? Be able to pick them both back up? But then I'm just playing them on turn 6 for no reason. Yeah, I think that we hold on to the Beast. I know I'd be able to replay them for 2, but I don't think the opponent's gonna play Magic. Okay, they're trying to use the efficiency of Colleen Wing and then keep on using the hand refills to be able to play her. It's an interesting tactic, but that hit from the Moon Knight, I mean, that's a game winner. Being able to clip their Devil Dino, which I'm sure they would have tried to clone and then play off, and it would have been just a big, scary carry. Now we need our discards to really come through. So we play you and you, and then I could afford Hellcow or Moon Knight plus Swordmaster. I suppose I play like so, and like so. It gives us the advantage at cloning vats. I don't see how they're going to be able to win that back. And then Dracula's playing low odds on pulling the right card, but we get the full buff out of Nidavellir as well. It's a pretty big power swing. Ah, the game crashed. All right, reconnecting. It's gonna be the worst end to a video as we reconnect into the final turn to see whatever the heck happened. Oh, I'm seeing cards in our favor. Okay, 39, 12, 13. We etched it out. Dracula did not get the apocalypse. Ah! Let's parse through what happened. We got the Swarm, the Moon Knight, taking us up to 39. They played Collector Sentinel at 8-8, not enough to be able to stave off the press on Nidavellir. They didn't have any way to be able to influence the cloning vat, so Swordmaster did take that. And then Dracula, what did you eat? The Hellcow? Equals 6. It must have been the Hellcow. There it is. Glorious victory for the self-discard. Alright, recording today has just been, it's been the worst. We've hit a number of game crashes. This is a rematch against an opponent, but we got District X in the previous game, so it's not actually showing off what the deck is able to do. Also, it went terribly for us, if you guys are interested. I lost horrifically. It was a massacre. I had a hand of 5/5 cost, no 3/5 costs, and then there's the one that makes the energy cost of cards go up by 1 on the 5th turn, so I couldn't play any of them. Going into turn 6 with no tempo, and by now I've spent way too much time explaining a game that we are not playing. We're gonna play Morbius, and then look at Blade Beast for turn 3, probably, maybe. Getting the Gamma Lab activation. I mean, we could actually... I said Blade Beast, I meant Beast Blade, so that we get 2 Hulks rather than 1 Hulk and a Blade in hand. It's way more valuable to us. Nah, losing the Dracula. It's unfortunate, but it's fine. They're gonna go Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw turning into the Hulk. I mean, it's only a 5-point upgrade, but you gotta take what you can get. I feel pretty good about this. I feel like that is the kind of advantage you can develop and snap at. New York allows for some interesting mind games, though, depending on how we focus our play to the locations. I might honestly just ignore New York, giving me, and if I can see that I build a lead on the other two, then we'll be in. We'll be in for the win. And with a 12-point advantage from a second Hulk, it's looking good. Morbius on the Xandar with the Hellcow supporting. He's going to be able to go up 4 points this turn. It's a 10-point Hellcow that's also buffing Swarm and Apocalypse. I mean, this is really excellent draws for us. A very excellent hand to have. And then an even distribution. Pinging the Swarm and hitting the Apocalypse. Mysterio coming down that's able to take advantage of Xandar. Where do we think we put the real Mysterio? I don't know if there's really anything that gives us a tell as to where it might appear, but we'll just play Lady Sif, put the extra points onto the Apocalypse, the extra points onto the Morbius. For a turn 5, to only develop 6 points on board, 4 points in hand. 10 points? 10 points out of turn 5? That's actually not bad. And that's with 2 energy unspent. That's the crazy thing. It's all about careful hand management with this deck. And I'm gonna confess, I'm not the best at it. I'm interested to hear in the comments how you guys have optimized your self-discard lists. Because I think that pretty much everybody has played it at some point or other. It's such a large, well-developed faction here within the game that everybody likes to run it. Apocalypse Swarm is just really fun. So let me know, do you guys favor using Bishop or Wong or something else that I haven't mentioned or thought of? I'd love to give it a try. We can have more variants out there.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
And try and lock up Xandar. Sure. I mean, you can do that, Spidey. And then the Sword Master. I don't care. Hang on. What's the play? I mean, I think it's just Swarm, Apocalypse. Apocalypse to New York. 16-point swing to New York. Maybe they're up by 5 with a Mysterio. Probably not. I have a feeling that the Mysterio is in New York. You put the dummy in Xandar just to be able to pick up the buff from it being Xandar, and then you put one in Gamma Lab because of, I don't know, because it has to go down. Magic. Interesting. Gonna take away the buffs from Xandar. This tells me that in fact the real Mysterio might be there. I don't know if the plan was there all along, but it very well could be. What do you have? 6 cards in hand? Sure. Moon Knight, Sword Master. We snapped right after we won at Gamma Lab. I feel like the opponent's just gonna retreat here. What could they have? Shang-Chi? Even Shang-Chi doesn't win. You need to play 2 Shang-Chis. Which could theoretically be possible in the future when we get Absorbing Man. Absorbing Man can be played and it will copy the on-reveal ability of the previous played card. And I believe he is a 4/3. So he has the exact same stat line as Shang-Chi. Of course, this is all data mined. It's rumors. It's subject to change upon release. But I'm really looking forward to that. Being able to have Wong, Odin, Absorbing Man, Hazmat. There's a lot of options of what you could do with that. Coming in at the 4 cost on the Absorbing Man is interesting. If you have Sarah, you can make him more comboable. But anyway, we cut up their Cosmo. Doesn't matter though. Swordmaster is just kind of here. They do have the Shang-Chi. And now, do you win Limbo? Rogue shuts down Morbius, but they don't have... Wait. The Moon Knight did give them a discarded card. So they're up 3. And now Mysterio, that is the real Mysterio. 2-point victory. Oh, makes me very happy we put the Sword Master there instead of the Moon Knight. A simple slip up when we were feeling confident with the win could have actually turned everything against us. So here is our optimized self-discard deck list. With Swarm and Apocalypse, it's quite reliable to be able to get your carries activated. You can get really good value out of Morbius, decent value out of the Collector, a little bit of attack against your opponent with the Moon Knight. It can adapt fairly easily to different locations that appear. All in all, I think it is great. It's a very well-rounded list, and it can hold up to whatever nonsense you see on the ladder. I think a lot of people feel like Apocalypse, Swarm is old hat because they are available in Pool 1 and 2, but don't overlook this deck. It can sneak up and get you. Till next time, thank you guys for watching, and don't stop snapping.